Live in an old apartment complex, the kind built decades ago, where the walls are thin and everyone seems to know everyone else's business. It's not a fancy place, not somewhere people come to show off. It's the kind of neighborhood where the elevators creak, the hallways echo, and the seasons feel a little harsher. 3 residents are mostly elderly couples, small families, and people just trying to get through life. And for the last 8 years, the front gate has been watched over by a man named Mr. Kim. He is 67 years old, small in frame, and always stands with his hands gently folded in front of him, as if ready to help at any second. Every morning at 5 a.m., he sweeps the entrance, greets the newspaper delivery guy, and bows politely to every resident, even the ones who never look up. When children run through the courtyard, he always warns them to be careful, smiling even when they ignore him. When the winter wind becomes sharp enough to cut skin, he slips hand warmers or gloves into the palms of the elderly who wait at the bus stop. He never asks for anything in return. But most people didn't see him. Or worse, they saw right through him. Some residents treated him as if he were invisible, or worse, expendable. Why isn't the trash bin empty yet? Do your job properly, we pay maintenance fees. You're not doing us a favor. I always wondered how a person as gentle and kind as him could endure being spoken to like that. But I didn't know the answer until one night changed everything. It was a cold evening in January. I was walking through the parking lot when I heard someone yelling. One of the residents, a man in his 40s, was standing inches from Mr. Kim's face, screaming about a parking sticker that had fallen off his car windshield. One sticker, one small piece of paper. But the man treated it like a personal crime. "You useless old man," he shouted. "Is this what we're paying for? You can't even do your job right." Mr. Kim bowed his head and kept apologizing. His voice trembled, his hands shook, but he didn't defend himself. Not once. I just stood there, frozen. I hated myself for not speaking up. And as the residents stormed away, leaving Mr. Kim standing alone under the flickering parking lot light, he looked smaller than I had ever seen a person look. The next morning, something unexpected happened. Pinned to the bulletin board near the entrance was a letter written in uneven handwriting. The paper was wrinkled, and parts of it were smudged, as if someone had cried while writing it. It read, "My grandpa is the bravest person I know. He always smiles even when people are mean to him. He wakes up early so everyone can be safe. I love him and I'm proud of him. Please be kind to my grandpa." It was signed, "From your granddaughter Sora, 8 years old." People stood silently in front of the letter, reading it over and over. Some gasped. Some wiped their eyes. The photo next to the letter showed Mr. Kim holding his granddaughter's hand, smiling with the biggest grin I had ever seen on his face. Later that day, I saw him reading the letter himself. He pressed his trembling hands to his face and cried quietly. Not the kind of cry you hear in movies, just small, broken sounds, like his heart finally found permission to speak. Someone took a picture of the letter and posted it online. Within hours, thousands of comments appeared. "That resident should be ashamed. This breaks my heart. We need to protect people like him." The story spread everywhere: news blogs, community apps, social networks. By the end of the week, the situation hit national news. Reporters tried to interview residents. A petition started. That man who yelled at Mr. Kim. He resigned from the residents' committee, humiliated publicly. And then something incredible happened. A special residents' meeting was held. I expected tension, complaints, arguments. Our community wasn't known for kindness. But instead, people stood up one by one to apologize. Some bowed so deeply they nearly touched the floor. Others broke down crying halfway through their speeches. And then someone announced something I never expected. Mr. Kim would be promoted from temporary contract worker to full-time employee with benefits. But that wasn't the end. One resident, who turned out to be the CEO of a large company, stood up and said, "I want to provide a scholarship for his granddaughter. Any child who learns kindness from someone like him deserves every opportunity." Mr. Kim covered his face with his hands. His shoulders shook violently. He couldn't speak for a long time. Finally, through tears, he whispered, "I never wanted anything but for this community to feel like family." And at that moment, everyone understood. We had ignored someone who held us together quietly, in ways we never noticed. We had overlooked someone who gave us warmth when we gave him nothing. I learned something important that day. Sometimes the strongest people are the ones who say nothing. Sometimes the people treated with the least respect deserve the most. And sometimes, one child's simple words can move an entire nation. Now, whenever I pass the guard booth, I always bow first. I always say thank you. I always look him in the eyes. It doesn't feel like enough, but it's a start. Because a single sentence can destroy someone. But a single sentence can also save them. Thanks for listening, and remember to be kind.